Coming up on today's Airborne, the G650 sets new records. Trig joins the Connected Panel Initiative. And Bombardier shifts the Learjet 85 entry into service date to 2014. I'm Ashley Hale. Welcome to Airborne on Aero-TV. As we were wrapping up today's edition of Airborne, our newsroom got a late-breaking story. Jim Campbell is here to report.
Thanks, Ashley, and hi, folks. Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad tidings, especially about a company that has set the bar in terms of solid customer support and ethical performance. But unfortunately, we regret to report that Diamond Aircraft is restructuring and is currently pointing at, quote, continuing low piston aircraft sales, especially in the North American market, and the significant burden of its cost-intensive D-Jet development program. What that means is this: affected our Diamond Aircraft Industries of Canada and D-Jet Corporation. The cost-cutting measures include the majority of the workforce being issued temporary layoff notices pending implementation of restructuring plans. Now, according to Peter Moore of Diamond Aircraft, quote, we want to hire back as many employees as possible, as quickly as possible, but the exact number and timing will be determined as we develop our restructuring plans in the coming weeks. Regrettably, we need to suspend activity on the D-Jet program pending the securing of additional funding. What this also means that for the moment is that Diamond is retaining a core group of employees to fulfill purchase orders for aircraft parts and services and provide continuing airworthiness support. And this situation does not involve the Austrian-based and independently owned and operated Diamond Aircraft Industries. We'll have more information for you as this develops. In the meantime, I'm Jim Campbell for the Aero-News Network, Airborne, and of course, Aero-TV. Hopefully, better news coming. Thanks.
Proving that life is just too short to fly slow airplanes, Gulfstream's new flagship aircraft, the G650, recently established 4 city pair speed records in just 5 days, connecting cities in the U.S., the Middle East, and Russia. The G650's most recent occurred January 28th, when the Gulfstream departed Moscow's Vnukovo Airport and landed at Savannah Hilton Head International Airport 9 hours and 33 minutes later, cruising at 0.90 to 0.91 Mach for the 4,774 nautical mile journey, which resulted in an average speed of 574 miles per hour. The aircraft's record-setting week began on January 23rd, when it took off from Dulles International Airport outside of Washington, D.C., and landed at Doha International Airport in Qatar. The G650 flew 6,475 nautical miles at 0.88 Mach in 11 hours and 40 minutes, which resulted in an average speed of 630 miles per hour. On January 25th, the G650 traveled from Doha International Airport to New Jersey's Teterboro Airport at 0.87 Mach in 13 hours and 3 minutes. The aircraft completed its trip of 6,102 nautical miles at an average speed of 537 miles per hour. On January 26, the G650 was piloted from Teterboro Airport to Moscow's Vnukovo Airport at 0.90 Mach, covering a distance of 4,190 nautical miles. It landed in Moscow 7 hours and 47 minutes later, a record time. The G650's average speed was 619 miles per hour. Pending approval by the National Aeronautics Association, these 4 G650 city pair speed records will be sent to the Fédération Aéronautique Internationale in Switzerland for recognition as world records. The G650, which had 3 city pair feats certified in 2012, earned its type certification from the FAA on September 7, 2012. The first aircraft was delivered to a customer on December the 20th, 2012. Trig Avionics Limited has joined Aspen Avionics' Connected Panel program. Trig joins a number of industry-leading players involved in this initiative. Andy Davis, CEO at Trig, said, quote, "It's clear that more pilots wish to use their own portable uncertified avionics in the cockpit. The Connected Panel program enables flight planning applications to integrate with certified avionics, enabling a more efficient cockpit setup for flight. This technology will allow different avionics vendors to offer greater cross-product compatibility. This will be good for customers, providing more choice and easier integration." End quote. Trig Avionics has designed and manufactured certified avionics for the light and general aviation sectors. They produce a line of compact and lightweight avionics that the company says are smart, affordable, and future-proof. The connected panel concept reflects the popularity of handheld smart devices like the iPad. Using connected panel products, pilots can interface between their certified avionics and wireless devices, using the convenience of Bluetooth connectivity in over 900 aircraft types. EASA has certified Aspen's EFD 1000 for installation in Gibbs Aero GA8 and GA8 TC320 Airvan aircraft. The certification is for the installation of a single unit in each aircraft. The Aspen EFD 1000 PFD comes with software version 2 and allows for integration with GPS and navigation sources, such as the Garmin Touch Navigation GTN 750 and GTN 650. For IFR aircraft, a co-requisite of this installation is the requirement for a standby attitude indicator. Gibbs Aero installs the Mid-Continent 4300-411 electric attitude indicator with battery backup. The Aspen EFD has proven very popular with operators in most regions and with most aircraft being delivered today featuring the electronic flight instrument system. The Aspen EFD 1000 was the first EFIS to be fitted to the GA8, and it allows for the retention of the standby airspeed indicator and altimeter in the same location as is used in the traditional 6-pack. In anticipation of early orders, Gibbs Aero has one aircraft with the Aspen EFD 1000 Pro installation already positioned at Cranfield in the United Kingdom. It's available for demonstrations. Bombardier has some not-so-good news for those expecting the Learjet 85. In a recent news release, the company said that the program is making solid progress, having achieved several key milestones. The first flight test aircraft is significantly advanced. The complete pressure fuselage, including the nose, aft fuselage, and empennage, have been joined. The landing gear has been installed, and the wing is attached to the fuselage. However, the project's timeline now has entry into service scheduled for 2014. That news was due in part to a lackluster financial report for 2012. While the fourth quarter revenues were up by about $500 million, the overall year was down about $1.5 billion. Pierre Boudouin, President and Chief Executive Officer, said of the report, quote, "We're forging ahead with breakthrough procedures and expanding our reach in pivotal growth markets. Our results of 2012 are not reflective of our potential." End quote. The state of Florida and Okaloosa County have filed criminal charges of grand theft against Vision Airlines for failure to pay more than $100,000 in passenger fees. The airline began making the move from charter and sightseeing operations to regularly scheduled service in December of 2010, with its first route being between Louisville and Atlanta. But it may have tried to grow too aggressively too quickly in 2011, opening routes to nearly 24 additional destinations in the span of just a week. Then the carrier ran into problems. It failed to pay the county and state more than $117,000 in passenger facility charges that it collected while operating in Florida, promising the money was on the way, but it would never arrive. Airlines must collect the fees and remit them to the proper governments within 30 days of collection. The day after filing the grand theft charge, Vision had a check delivered overnight in the amount of $117,659.98 to the airport. This according to the Northwest Florida Daily News. Now, Florida State Attorney Bill Evans says that paying what is owed would certainly be a mitigating factor, but Vision may still face criminal charges, along with fines for not remitting the PFCs in a timely way, and that the airline should reimburse the state for the cost of the investigation, which was conducted jointly by the state and the county. You're watching Airborne, more in a moment.
Since the early days of powered flight, pilots have struggled with landing in crosswinds and learning proper crosswind landing techniques. Even today, most crosswind landing skills are learned through trial and error, sometimes with disastrous results. Believe it or not, the most common contributing factor in weather-related accidents each year is crosswinds. The second most common factor is wind gusts. In fact, crosswinds and wind gusts cause more landing accidents than fog, thunderstorms, and icing combined. That's where the Redbird X-Wind SE comes in. It teaches pilots the proper techniques to meet and beat these top two causes of weather-related landing accidents. By placing pilots in gusty crosswind conditions for extended periods of time, the X-Wind SE gives instructors all the time they need to teach the pilot the proper techniques for landing in challenging crosswind conditions. For more information on Redbird flight simulations, the Redbird X-Wind SE, and Redbird's entire line of flight training devices, visit www.redbirdflightsimulations.com.
Welcome back. If you'd like to suggest a story for Airborne, Aero-TV, our website, or our podcast, drop us an email to news-spy@aero-news.net. All F-35s have been grounded as a precaution after a routine engine inspection revealed a crack on an engine blade. Tom Patton reports.
Defense Department officials in Washington, D.C. on Friday called the grounding a cautionary suspension of flight. In a news release, the Air Force said inspectors found the crack in an F-135 engine installed in an F-35A Lightning II at Edwards Air Force Base in California. This is the conventional takeoff and landing version of the Joint Strike Fighter. Officials are shipping the engine and its associated hardware to Pratt & Whitney's engine facility in Middletown, Connecticut, to conduct a more thorough evaluation and root cause analysis. Officials said the grounding is precautionary. All F-35 flight operations have been suspended until the investigation is complete, officials said, and it's too early to know the fleet-wide impact. The F-35 Joint Program Office is working closely with Pratt & Whitney and Lockheed Martin at all F-35 locations to ensure the integrity of the engine and to return the fleet safely to flight as soon as possible. For Airborne, I'm Tom Patton.
If sequestration is allowed to go into effect on March 1st, the ripple effect could be felt throughout the aviation industry, as the FAA is forced to reduce its budget and furlough staff. Air Transport World reports that Transportation Secretary Ray LaHood said in a letter to Senate Appropriations Committee Chair Barbara Mikulski that sequestration would force the FAA to undergo an immediate retrenchment of core functions, and that the move would make it impossible to avoid significant employee furloughs at the FAA. LaHood said in the letter sent last month that, quote, the furlough of a large number of air traffic controllers and technicians will require a reduction in air traffic to a level that can be safely managed by the remaining staff, end quote. He added that the implementation of NextGen would also be affected. And now it's time for our Aero video of the week. Needs a runway when with just a few simple steps you can launch yourself into the clouds. You'll see how it's done in today's viewer-suggested Aero video of the week. Simply search YouTube for Archaeopteryx foot launch. Who knew? When Pope Benedict XVI flies off into retirement aboard the papal helicopter, he won't necessarily have to be sitting in the back waving. He could actually be up front in the cockpit flying the aircraft himself. Information from the Fun Facts section of the Catholic News Agency website indicates that Pope Benedict XVI has a pilot's license for the papal helicopter, and he likes to fly from the Vatican to the papal summer residence, Castel Gandolfo. But the Pope does not have a driver's license as he has never learned to drive a car. The website, The Snoring Scholar, also indicates that the Pope is licensed to fly single-engine airplanes. The New York Times reports that while Pope Benedict XVI has enjoyed flying the papal helo, for this retirement flight, he'll be a passenger. Well, that's our program. Remember, you can get comprehensive, real-time, 24/7 coverage of the latest aviation and aerospace stories anytime at aero-news.net. And remember, Airborne is now streamed twice weekly and is always online. I'm Ashley Hale. Thanks for watching.